So the domain variable, the domain is really all the x values that this function can take. Okay, all the x values. So it'd be that one, that one, that one, and so on. So this is what I mean by saying domain is typically the x variable. It doesn't always have to be the x variable, because in calculus we will see many functions that look like this. Instead of x, it will be t. In other words, it will be what's called the independent variable, which is always the horizontal axis. Okay? And then the range will be the y variable. So, for example, it will be this value. It could be that value. It could be that value, and so on. So, this is range. Okay? And this is domain. All right? So, are we okay on this? Ryan, you awake? Example on restrictions of domain. So let's take a look at the first example here. Are there any restrictions on x? Can x take any value? Yes, Christian? You're saying yes? Yeah? So can x be equal to -1? Why not? Sorry? Yeah, you're going to get a square root of negative number. Remember, we are talking about graphs. It's got to be things that are real. You should be able to see that when you graph it. Right? We're not looking at complex numbers. We're looking at real numbers only. Okay? So you're absolutely right, John. You cannot have this. So can someone be more specific and give me the domain of x? So x must be greater than or equal to 1. Okay? It can't be 0 because you'll get -1. So it's got to be greater than or equal to 1. Now this is one way of writing the domain. Does anybody remember how to write this in interval notation? Interval notation. Aaron? Yeah, Ryan, that's right. Bracket, sorry. In this case it's infinity. Parentheses, okay, not bracket, because you can never reach infinity. Okay, does everybody understand the difference between these two? Yeah? Okay, what's the difference, Hunter? Okay, so another way of saying it is inclusive, includes that, and the other one, not inclusive. Okay, not inclusive. Okay? So that's the domain. So this was domain. Can someone tell me the range? Someone tell me the range. Hang on, Connor, let's get some other people in here. So, give me range. Kevin? Range will be negative infinity. You know, one way of looking at range is looking at it graphically. To me, that's the easiest way of doing it. Okay? So if you want to think about graphing this guy, it's going to look like this. It shouldn't go down below here, okay? It should look like that if you were to graph it. This is a graph that you should know, okay, from Algebra 1. So now that I've shown you the graph, what do you think the range is? Yeah, Christian? Nice, 0 to infinity. Bracket or parentheses?
Bracket 0.
Bracket 0, comma, parentheses. Okay? So we're all right? So that's the range. All right. Example 2. Okay, you guys do this, and if you need to use your graphing calculator, go use your graphing calculator. You might want to put it in radian mode, although in this case it shouldn't matter, but get your graphing calculator out.